I've got a question for you. Do you know the difference between what's meant by an accord and what's meant by a note in fragrance? Well, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you in this video, along with my favourite fragrances for 2023. And I've got quite a pile to show you, and they're not all super expensive. So let's get straight on with it. And the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about today is the YSL Libre, and it's the Eau de Parfum. And this is the beautiful bottle. Look at that, absolutely stunning. And it's not super expensive. I think this was around £60 on Sephora. So affordable, I mean, not a big bottle, I agree, but affordable, I would say. Now, I came across this one and the next one I'm going to tell you about as well through watching Risa Does Makeup. I love her so much. She's a fantastic channel. I'm sure you all know her, but just in case you don't, I'll link her channel down below for you and the video in which she talked about this fragrance and the other one I'm going to tell you about. And I just thought, well, it's Christmas, Mr. Des wants to buy me something, let me let him know what I fancy, and this is one of the ones that he got me. But before I told him which ones I fancied, I went in and tried them myself, and I did mention them, I think, in my December vlog, which I'll also link down below for you if you want to see that. And I was really super impressed with this straight away. Now, let me tell you a little bit about it, and I'm going to refer to my notes. So the accords are, and I'll tell you what that means in a second, white floral, citrus, lavender, vanilla, aromatic, sweet, powdery, animalic, woody and fruity. The top notes are lavender, mandarin, orange, blackcurrant and petitgrain, and its middle notes are again lavender, orange blossom and jasmine, and its base notes are Madagascar vanilla, musk, cedar and ambergris. Now, let me tell you exactly what accords and notes mean and how they differ. So notes refer to the individual scents within the perfume. So with this one, for example, we talked about lavender, and there must be quite a lot of lavender in there because it was in the top notes and the middle notes. We've got orange blossom in the middle notes. We've got mandarin orange in the top notes. So again, there's probably going to be quite a lot of orange in there. And in the base notes, we've got things like muska and cedar. But the accords, on the other hand, are the effect that you get from those multiple notes blended together. Not that complicated, is it really? It's just when you read it, when I first looked at it on Fragrantica, and if you don't know about Fragrantica, it's a really useful resource for fragrances, and you can put in the ones that you like, for example, and it'll suggest other ones that you might like in the same vein. But it isn't that easy to decipher at times. So sometimes, for some weird reason, it only has the accords but not the notes. But it is really useful, and I definitely recommend looking at it if you are interested in perfumes. And I got that from the fantastic Charlotte Holdcroft. She does lots of videos on fragrances, although I have to say they do tend to be very top end and a little bit out of my price range. So without further ado, let me tell you a bit about the YSL. Now also let me tell you that I'm actually allergic to fragrances, and I can't spray them on my skin, or at least I can't wear them on my skin for any length of time, because what happens is I get really bad seborrheic dermatitis, so I have to stay away from anything that's got perfume in it or fragrance in it. But I am going to spray it on my skin for the purposes of this video, because I can always wipe it off, which of course I will do. So let me spray the YSL Libre onto, oh, be good if I did it the right way around, wouldn't it? Let me spray it onto my skin, like that. Oh my goodness. Now this, I would say, is a winter fragrance. I don't think you'd want to wear this in the summer unless you were going somewhere, like, well, maybe you would actually, in a sort of, let's say you were going to a garden party. Not that I ever get invited to garden parties, but say you were having a party in the garden, or you were going to a party in the garden. It was an elegant, fancy party because it's so warm and feminine. Oh my goodness. Now, am I getting lavender? Don't know. I think there is something orange about it though, because orange is mentioned in the description, isn't it? Mandarin orange, maybe. Maybe that's why I think of it as a sort of Christmassy, wintry fragrance. But it's very, very warm. It's very, very feminine. It's very, very sexy, I would say. Oh my goodness. And maybe you wouldn't want to wear it to work. It might be a little bit too much because it could be a little bit overpowering. I don't know, but I am absolutely loving it. Highly recommend that. So if you're looking for something warm, sexy, heavy, then I think this is your fragrance. Now the second fragrance that I was lucky enough to get from Mr. Des, because I also tried it out, and it does come in different sizes, so you don't have to spend a fortune. I think again this was about £60, is the Jimmy Choo I Want Choo. Now Risa actually recommended a different version of I Want Choo. I think it's I Want Choo More or something like that, but I'd forgotten that when I went into the store. And I tried this out, and again, I fell in love with it. Now, let me tell you a little bit about it. Its accords are white floral, vanilla, fruity, sweet, powdery, citrus, and soft spicy. So it does have some things in common with the YSL in that it's got sweet and it's also got fruity, but they're in a slightly different order. So those are the accords, those are the overall effects of the fragrance. And the notes are... Top notes are peach and mandarin orange. So again, we've got mandarin orange that we had in the previous fragrance. The middle notes are jasmine and red lily. And the base note is vanilla. So again, it's got some similarities with the YSL. But let me tell you what I think it smells like, or whether I agree with that description. So yes, this one, yeah, there's a definite difference. This is lighter. It's still got a bit of heaviness about it, but it is lighter, so slightly less in your face. It has a slightly sharper, more citrusy smell. Did we talk about citrus? Did it mention citrus? Yes, it did. Yeah, so I recognise that definitely. It said powdery in the accords. I don't know about powdery, not sure. Vanilla, yes, maybe a little bit of vanilla, but I think it's a little bit sharper, a little bit more fruity than the YSL, but just as gorgeous. And I think it would linger in the same way that the YSL would, and that's called sillage, by the way. This is something I learned from Charlotte. Sillage is, I think, and my understanding is that it's the length and the lasting effect of the scent. That is really beautiful. Actually, as it dries down, it's getting warmer, it's getting sexier, actually, just like the YSL. Let's see if we can still smell that. Actually, interestingly, that seems to have worn off a bit. Oh no, it's there, but it's just not quite as strong. Well, they're both absolutely beautiful, and as I say, reasonably priced. I mean, we're not talking Tom Ford here. In fact, we're not going to be talking, well, we are going to be talking Tom Ford, that's not quite right, but a more reasonably priced Tom Ford than some of the others, and not in the Kilian or not in the Frederic Malle kind of range. These, I would say, are mid-priced perfumes. So the next one I want to talk about was a gift for my birthday from my bestest friend, and it is... I can just open the bottle. It comes in this really heavy case for travel purposes. And it is the, and I've virtually finished it, the Essential, I never know how to pronounce this, the Essential Molecules 01. And it's this bottle here. And again, this is quite reasonably priced for the size, maybe a little bit smaller than the other two. I'm not sure, actually. No, it looks about the same size. So again, around about £50–60. Now this one is quite interesting because the idea behind it is it only has one key element in it, which is ISO Super. I have no idea what that means, but when you read about it, it was created in a more considered chemical way. That sounds horrible, but that's from my reading, that's my understanding. The idea behind it was not to complicate it too much, and also for it to smell different on each individual's skin. But of course, I can't wear it on my skin. I have to wear it on my clothes. However, when I went for a blood test a few weeks ago, I had it on in the morning, and the nurse recognised it straight away. She said, "Are you wearing Essential Molecules 01?" And I said, "Yes." Which is really interesting because I had it on my clothes and not on my skin. Anyway, let me tell you about the notes, because it does tell you what the notes are. The top notes are lime, pink pepper and aldehydes, so already sounding a little bit chemical. The middle notes are Horace and Edione, which apparently is a green jasmine bud, Edione. And the base notes are this ISO E Super, Mastic, and Musconi, which in brackets says musk. It's not exactly telling you a lot, is it? But anyway, let me see if I can get a little bit out of it and tell you what it smells like to me. I mean, there's only a tiny bit left. It is warm. It's not spicy though. I would say it's a bit more powdery. Let me put a bit more if I can. There we are. Yes, it's warm, powdery, and a little bit floral, I would say. Can I get any lime out of it? Actually, it also said incense. I don't know if I read that out. I'm not really getting incense. I am getting floral, powdery, and warm. So that is the Essential Molecules. I can't say it. Essential Molecules 01. I have to say that very carefully because it's quite difficult to say all at once. It is a really handy travel size. I did actually use it up really quickly because I was gifted it in late September and I'd used it up about a couple of weeks ago, but I did really enjoy it. Okay, going back in time again, I have talked about this one on my channel before when I did a November vlog, and this is the Tom Ford Cafe Rose. And this is this huge bottle which I managed to get for £120, which I suppose when you think about it, it probably is about half the size of the other bottles we've just looked at. All the details, by the way, of everything I talk about will be in the description box below. Now this one, I was just looking for a fragrance because I'd virtually run out of everything else. And there happened to be a sale on at John Lewis, and this was 140 reduced to 120, which I thought was pretty good because usually for 140 you'd only get a smaller bottle like the ones I've just shown you. Now this one I heard about through Michelle Wong, and she talked about it a while ago and reviewed it and really liked it, so I thought I'd give it a go. So this one's accords are warm, spicy, rose, woody, patchouli, amber, floral, balsamic, earthy, fresh, spicy. So before I spray a bit on me and tell you how I feel about it, I just want to describe what amber is in case you don't know, because I didn't really know what amber meant in relation to fragrances. And what it means is it's a blend of ingredients that describe a warm, powdery, sweet scent, and it consists of a soiree, as they call it, of ingredients which are natural and synthetic, such as vanilla, patchouli, which we've just mentioned, labdanum, styrus, benzoin, and a few more. It's used to create oriental fragrances that convey a rich, spicy, and powdery feel. So this one's notes are patchouli, coriander, and spicy cardamom with incense resin and sandalwood accords. So let me tell you what I think about it. Now this, it's funny, I definitely get rose. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Of course, it's got rose in it, if I didn't already mention that. I think it's rose, Bulgarian rose. This is rose oriental. That's how it smells to me. I can't smell coffee at the moment. It's much fresher, but not too fresh. So it's still quite sort of winter, autumn, winter appropriate, I would say. It's absolutely lovely. It's definitely not a summer fragrance, I would say. It's definitely a cooler weather fragrance because it's a heavier floral, if you like. Actually, I am getting coffee now. As it dries down, I am getting coffee. So this would definitely be more office appropriate. This is lighter, but it's still got that depth to it, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Yes, this is a real winner if you don't want anything too heavy, too in your face like the first two, like the YSL and the Jimmy Choo. This is definitely a lighter option, but it's still got that depth to it, which I really like. Now let's move on to Bal D'Afrique by Byredo, this one here. Now I bought this for myself. This wasn't gifted to me either. And I wanted to try another Byredo. I think I tried, I've forgotten the name of the one. Was it L'air Marocain or something? No, that wasn't it. I have tried another Byredo, which I kind of liked, but I did really like this. And this one actually is an amber woody fragrance. We've just talked about amber being this sort of warm, powdery, sweet scent. So this one's accords are aromatic, citrus, woody, floral, fresh spicy, white floral, powdery, fruity, blimey, how long have you got? Sweet and earthy. So that's quite a lot of accords, really. I suppose perhaps it depends on the person who's actually sniffing it and smelling it as to whether they get any or all of those accords. And the notes are, top are Amalfi lemon, targetes, don't know what that is, blackcurrant, bergamot, African orange flower. The middle notes are violet, cyclamen and jasmine. And the base notes are vetiver, musk, amber and Virginia cedar. Let's see what I can tell you about this one. There's a tiny bit left. Yes, now interestingly, this is a little bit similar to the Tom Ford that we've just talked about. So it has got some similarities in terms of its accords with the Tom Ford, because I've just checked the list. And it definitely has some kind of rose in it, even though it's not mentioned. I wonder if it's the violet. I mean, to me, that does smell a lot more like the Café Rose, although without the coffee. So I do really like it. It's fresh. Again, it's got that warmth to it, which I really like. And again, you could wear this in the summer, but I would say it's probably more of an autumn, winter, maybe spring fragrance. It's not too floral, but also not too heavy. And I think if you like the Tom Ford, you would definitely like this one. So that's the Byredo Bal D'Afrique. Now, one that I took a bit of a punt on a few months ago is the Narciso by Narciso Rodriguez, this one here. Lovely bottle. I really like this bottle. It's very pretty. And again, not super expensive. Now, this one I kind of like, but I didn't adore it. And this one's accords are musky, rose, powdery, aromatic, floral and smoky, and its notes are geranium, incense and pink pepper. Middle notes damask rose, patchouli and violet, and the bottom notes are olivabum, labdanum and benzoin. You can see as I describe the notes and the accords, there are quite a lot of similarities between the perfumes. Right, let's try the Narciso. There's a tiny bit left. If I can I get something out? Oh yeah, here we are. Yes, this is much more powdery. I like it, but it's a bit on the powdery side. In fact, you know, it reminds me a bit of the original Vivienne Westwood, which was called Boudoir, which I absolutely loved and which was very powdery. I'm not sure if it's been discontinued. Yes, it's really reminiscent of the Vivienne Westwood. I like it, but I don't love it. It hasn't got enough sharpness. It hasn't got enough floral notes in it for me to really love it, but it's okay. But if you like a floral, if you like something a bit heavier, if you like something a bit sweeter, this probably isn't for you. This is a bit powdery for me and maybe a little bit old-fashioned. So won't be repurchasing that one. Now, one that I've already repurchased is the Jardin à Cythere by Hermes. Now again, this is quite reasonably priced. I think this bottle was about £80, and let me tell you a little bit about it. I bought this, I think, in May 2023, and I've already bought another bottle. Now this one's accords are woody, citrus green, fresh and nutty. Now this one only has 3 ingredients in its notes. It's got top note grasses, heart notes olive wood, and base notes fresh pistachio. Honestly, I absolutely fell for this when I tested it at the airport on my way to Bologna in May, and it had just come out then, so it's relatively new. It's beautifully sweet, but not overpowering. It's still got that sharpness. I think that's what I really like. I like sweet fragrances crossed with a little sharp notes, with a little citrus. I think that's what I really love about all these perfumes, actually. They've got that sweetness with a little bit of sharpness. Maybe not the first 2, but the others do. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. It's so... it's got that summery feel. I mean, you could wear it in the spring, of course you could, or even in the winter, to be honest, but it's definitely more one for the summer if you're looking for a summery perfume. It's got that heaviness, which I like, but it's not too heavy and it's not too in your face. I mean, can I smell grasses? Can I smell whatever it is? Can I smell fresh pistachio? Not sure that I can, or I like eating it. But anyway, I think it's a really lovely fragrance and definitely worth testing if you're looking for a fresh but warm and citrusy scent. This would be right up your alley. Now, sticking with Hermes, I have talked about this one before, but I have a feeling it may have been discontinued. I'm not sure. I will check. And it is the Eau Des Merveilles. Again, a reasonably priced fragrance, around about, I think this was about 40, 50 pounds. Probably a bit more if you're getting the slightly larger bottle. And this one is described as woody, fresh, spicy, aromatic, citrus, amber, conifer, a bit Christmassy, sweet, fresh, earthy and balsamic. Top notes are orange, elemi resin and lemon. Middle notes are amber, pink pepper, pepper and violet. And its base notes are fir, cedar, Madagascan vetiver, oak moss and benzoin or benzoin. So let me tell you what I think. I'm not sure I'm going to tell you that it smells of benzoin because I've no idea what that is. It sounds very chemical. God, this is beautiful. It's actually not that dissimilar to the one to the other Hermes, which I think is why I fell in love with the other Hermes. So yes, this is warm. Maybe it's a little bit warmer than the Jardin Cythere actually. I can definitely smell the citrus. I don't know about earthy actually, maybe it needs to dry down a bit. It's more florally, I would say, than the Jardin Cythere. But it's beautiful, it's fresh, it's light, but not too light. Again, it's got that summery feel to it and I think it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I think this is a really great fragrance, reasonably priced and lovely for spring, summer. The next two fragrances I'm going to talk about are very reasonably priced. And the first one is this Floral Street Chypre Sublime. Now this has rose, amber, warm spicy, fresh spicy, patchouli, woody balsamic, aromatic, floral and smoky as its accords. And its notes are geranium, incense and pink pepper. Middle notes, damask rose, patchouli and violet, and its base notes are olibamum, labdanum, can't say that word, labdanum and benzoin. I've only used half of this because I slightly went off it. I don't know why, or maybe I moved on to something else. So it'd be interesting for me. I haven't actually niffed it for a few months. So let's give it a go and see if I still like it. Oh, I do actually. I do, although I think I know why I haven't used this as much. It's because it is very, very sweet and very, very rose dominated, I would say. I mean, I like a rose, but I think this is just a bit too much rose and too sweet for me. But if you like a rose and you like that sweetness mixed with a little bit of earthiness, and I think you would really like this, and it's incredibly reasonably priced. I think I only paid about £40 for this, and it's a big bottle, but I don't know whether I would reach for this again on a regular basis. But I would definitely, if you are in the market for a reasonably priced fragrance, check out Floral Street anyway, even if you don't check out this one. There are many other fragrances in their range, and it's definitely worth checking them out if you haven't come across them before. And the final and another reasonably priced fragrance I want to mention is this Zara Femme, it's called. Now the Zara accords are powdery again, woody, musky, sweet, warm, spicy, balsamic, amber, patchouli and aromatic. Again, very similar accords. And the top notes are peony and bergamot. The middle notes are tonka bean and sandalwood. And the base notes are vanilla, musk and patchouli. So let's have a little sniff of this one. This is quite different actually, even though it's got some of the same accords and some of the same notes as the others. It's lighter, but it's not too light. I mean, it's very reasonably priced. I think this was about £20 for this bottle, which again, I think holds a similar amount to the YSL and the Choo, but I mean, it's much, much cheaper. But it is a really pleasant fragrance. It has some kind of flowery scent to it. It's definitely got a floral. I mean, I don't know if I keep smelling rose all over the show now, but it seems to have a very slight rosy scent to me. But it's also got that warmth, which I like. And I think, I mean, it does say it's sweet and it does say it's got vanilla. Yeah, I'm smelling the vanilla now, actually. I mean, if you just want a really inexpensive perfume maybe to carry in your bag, then I think this would be really good, because you can just touch it up. And you could even spray it around the room, to be honest. It's so reasonably priced. And I definitely think it's worth checking out the Zara fragrances. They also have really good room fragrances and candles as well, and all the other sort of stuff you need for your home, like hand wash and that kind of thing. So definitely worth checking them out. So there you have it. Those are my top fragrances for 2023. So let me know in the comments, what are your favourite fragrances? Have you tried any of these, and would you try them? And do you wear different fragrances for different times of the year? Let me know, because that way we all learn from each other. It's like I said, a couple of these fragrances I got from Risa and one I got from Michelle Wong. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd be so grateful if you'd give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you get notified each time I upload a video. And if you can't get enough of me, I have a monthly newsletter, and the link to subscribe to that is in the description box below. And in that I don't just talk about beauty, fashion and lifestyle, but I also talk about music, books, podcasts, films, theatre and other bits and bobs that make us happy. And if you've enjoyed this video, I'm going to pop up a couple of videos in the same vein that you might enjoy. And thanks so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. It really does. And I do hope that you're doing really well. And I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Bye!